Do you want to know what's going on with this crazy housing market in Phoenix, Arizona? Well, that's exactly what I'm going to take you through today. Hey, welcome back to our channel. My name is Brayden. I'm a local Phoenix, Arizona real estate agent, and this is our channel for the Desert Charm Living real estate team. I am on a team with my mom, Shauna, who you will meet in videos to come very shortly. And on this channel, we talk all things real estate and lifestyle for the Phoenix metro area and more specifically, the Northwest Valley. So today I'm going to be taking you through to talk about what's been going on, what the stats were from March 2022 for the housing market, give you an update, and just give you some insight into what I'm seeing. So let's head over to the stats from the MLS. Okay. Okay, so what I'm pulling up here is I'm just pulling up the MLS stats. And so I'm going to start with Glendale, Arizona. So Glendale, last month we had 434 new listings hit the market in the city of Glendale, okay? And we had listings go for 102.2% for the sold to list price ratio, meaning that on average, every home that sold in Glendale last month sold for 2.2% higher than the list price. So let's go down and talk about the average sale price, $473, $412. So what would this mean for going 2.2%? Let's say that's the average home that, or no, the average home was listed at $542, $176. Now, obviously, the listings that sold last month for 2.2% over were most likely listed in February or the very, very beginning of March. So there is a little bit of a lag because of market data is coming out after the fact. But let's even just go off of this price to say, okay, we had a home that was on the market and it was for let's say 540 for easy math, okay? And for the average home, for that to go 2.2% over, that would be 551, 880. Now, if this home was really well prepped for the market, it had been updated, it's probably going to be more than that. If the home was maybe a little bit dirty, not staged well, not very nice when you went through it, maybe needed some more repairs, it'd probably be a little bit lower than that 2.2% over. But looking at everything, we're looking at 2.2% over. So you just have to know, if you're looking at the real estate market, be prepared to go over asking, because everything is going over asking pretty much right now. For the most part, there are exceptions, but the general rule is that most of these properties are going over listing price. And so I do think you need to be prepared for that, because right now, listing agents aren't even really considering your offer and advocating for it if it's not even over list price. That's just what we're seeing in the market right now. All right, let's talk about this absorption rate number, 0.63. This means that there is less than 1 month of available homes on the market for the number of people that are buying it. So this is really important to know, because we had a 0.61 for the absorption rate in March of 21. So we have a little bit more inventory than we did this time last year, but that's not very much. That means that if no more homes were to hit the market less than a month, we would have no more homes for sale. Like people would be buying them. There'd be no more. It would take less than a month to buy up all of those homes. So that is very, very low. A more balanced market is going to be around the 6-month mark. And so this just goes to show the supply and demand issue that we have going on in the Phoenix metro area right now. So the average list price in March was $542, $176. The average sale price was $473, $412. Again, this average sales price is coming from the homes that were listed in in February. Goodness gracious, my words. Listed in February. So if I was to go back in February, I believe that this month over month price, the listing price would be lower than this 542 because we know that homes went 2.2% over listing price. And so this was probably closer to 460 for the listing price in February. So I expect next month with some more listings coming on the market at 542 or 600s, maybe 700s, that we're going to see that average sale price go up because the listing price was higher in March than it was in February. So we had the median sale price. So this is where, middle, you take, okay, all the listings that sold under 440, all the listings that sold over 440, the middle price of all of those was 440. And so this gives you a good idea of, and most of the time you're looking at this, the outliers in there are going to be, if you're looking at one of those luxury homes in Arrowhead Lakes, in Arrowhead Ranch, or if you are looking at maybe a small condo or a townhome that's 1 to 2 bedrooms versus maybe a 3 to 4 bedroom home with 2 bathrooms, right? And so typically that median sales price is you're looking at like that 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom home. And so 440 is the median sales price in Glendale. Now, again, there's multiple different zip codes in Glendale. We have in the south part of Glendale, the more historic area, and then the north part of Glendale, we have higher end and luxury properties as well. And so depending on which zip code you're buying in, that's also going to affect that median sales price because some of those areas are going to be much higher than this 440 and some of those areas are going to be a little bit lower. Okay, so sold listings. Last month, we sold 411. Now, with the new listings, I said that we had 434. So that really just shows you, okay, we had 411 total sold listings in March, and we had 434 come on, but with how many sold, that's not much change in the inventory. So really what we're looking at is just that this demand for homes and buying homes is so high, and there is, demand. We are seeing that, and we are seeing the bidding war still with the 2.2% average going over. Okay, let's go into the Peoria stats for March. And again, I'll have to do another one of these with the April stats. We're looking at everything, the last full month. So that is going to give us, the March information. All right, let's pull up this Peoria report for March of 2022. All right, new listings in March. We got 406 new listings in Peoria. All right. And also here you can see days on market. We see a little bit, they started going up a little bit, got a little bit high, and then, now they're coming down. So again, we're showing they're moving quickly. We've got a lot of buyers home shopping, and these home prices, they're going up. The bidding wars are going, they're still going over asking. They're still going into bidding wars, and the days on market are going down. So they're being picked up really, really quickly once they hit the market. Okay. So absorption rate for Peoria, 0.55. Now we actually had no change in this between March of 2021 and this March. So that's very interesting to me, meaning that, in Glendale, we saw a tiny, tiny bit of an increase, but in Peoria, we didn't see any change. And so to me, what that says is either that there is stronger demand in Peoria for houses. Maybe more people are moving from Peoria or into Peoria, I should say, or we just have less houses going on the market, less people moving in Peoria. They're happy where they're at. Not as many people are moving. Now, I would say generally that's the case. People are not moving very, very generally. But yes, because we do see, now year over year for just 1 month is not a very good change. It's not a very good indication because it's just 1 month of data. It's always fluctuating, right? The number of homes hitting the market and what's available, but there is a slight increase. You can see we have about 10%, almost 11% more inventory this year than last year in 2022 so far. Now we're early into the year. Everyone is saying the spring market is the most competitive real estate market we have been in. And so we're just going to have to see what that looks like. Okay, so let's go into the sold to list ratio for Peoria, 102%. So again, very similar. Some homes are going to be higher than that. Some homes are going to be lower than that. I'm seeing a lot in the, in the homes that I'm showing in Glendale, Peoria, Surprise, North Phoenix that are in the 400, mid 400 range to 500, going 20 to 30% or 20 to 30,000 over asking, and so a little bit under 10%. And so I really think it depends on the neighborhood, the condition of the property, and I also think it depends on the price point because people are experiencing some tightening of their budgets right now with the insane increase in interest rates, right? So average list price for March was $570,852. And so the average sales price was $553,158. So again, the average list price in March is definitely higher than what it was in February because home prices are still increasing. I expect that in April, this average sales price is going to be closer to the average list price of, $570,852, maybe a little bit higher. We'll have to see. Median days on market, 13 to, and the average was 24. So things are really moving very quickly. If you're wanting to buy a house and you want to be competitive and you need to rely on other terms besides just price and money, which you should be in this market, you should be putting together as strong of an offer as possible, looking at every single way you can be competitive. Having a quick closing is becoming very, very important, especially so that the home seller, if they are living in the property and need to move on, you can get closed quickly, give them time to stay in the property up to 60 days if you're financed, and give them time to buy a new home. And so that gets them home shopping much, much quicker if you can do a short close for them. Okay, so we had 406 homes hit the market, and we had 382 that sold. And so the rest of those, for the most part, most of these homes are not really sitting on the market month over month, unless they're just really crazy, in the pricing and they're just really unrealistic. They're going really quickly. We're getting a little bit more inventory than what's selling, but those, couple of extra that are remaining after the sold are going to be sold up pretty quickly here after that. And then this also is going to show you, how many new listings do we have and what price point. So we had, it looks like the most new listings in the 550 to 750 price point in Peoria. Now, North Peoria has a higher price per square foot and property price than if you go into like 85381, 85345, right? And so that doesn't surprise me too much. It looks like we came in close in the 400 to 499. Again, some 300 to 399, that's actually really great because those properties are starting to really seem to be phased out very quickly. A lot of people in those price points, but not very many homes. And then 750 to 999, definitely butchered that, but just under 1 million. So a handful there, and then just a couple here and there. And I think most of these are probably manufactured homes, mobile homes, and maybe a couple of small condos. Okay, I'm going to head into the surprise stats next. Now, I know this information, I've got all of these numbers and these graphs here, but I want to be able to show you and talk through what I'm seeing. And so what I'm seeing here is tracking with what I'm seeing every day when I'm shopping with buyers. And look, we work with a lot of buyers. We have a lot of buyer clients that we are helping navigate this market right now. And we also work the listing side. So we see both sides, and we know when you're home shopping, this data, this information matters so that you have as much information and can go get under contract and actually buy a property. And we don't know what the future is going to hold. We don't know what interest rates are going to be from day to day right now, right? But we are trying to stay on top of this information, make sure that we're educating you so that you feel like, okay, I can go and buy a home. And yes, it may be more difficult. I may have to be more patient, put in more offers, but I've got the data. And as long as you can put together an offer that makes sense with what the market is doing, I think you'll be in a good position. Okay, so let's go to new listings and sold to list price ratio. I like looking at the graph because you can see based on what's sold, based on what's active and new. I like to see, kind of what's going there because we're looking at surprise, and these graphs are kind of, they're doing different things in some of these different areas, but then also they seem to come together. So very, very interesting. So we had 424 new listings hit the market. So we're seeing kind of a trend city over city around, that low 400 mark for new listings. Sold to list price ratio is 101.9%. And so that is, pretty tracking. Surprise has a slightly lower price point than, the North Peoria and North Glendale zip codes. So that, that makes sense to me that it would be slightly lower, just because their average and median prices are going to be slightly lower as well. Okay, so surprise, the average list price was $507,816 in March, and then their average sales price was $463,486, and so pretty big change, 30% change in list price, just about 30% change in sales price from 2021 to March 2022, and I don't see that changing very much, month to month, but we'll have to see. So the absorption rate, now we have a little bit more inventory, it looks like, or a little, it would last a tiny bit longer than Peoria and Glendale with 0.7. So again, not even 1 month of inventory, but slightly more than those other cities, and a 4% increase in that absorption rate month over month and year over year. So that's a good trend that we want to see a little bit more. Again, even if we got back to 1.5 to 2 to 3 months, that'd be great compared to where we've been the last couple of years, right? So we had 411 sold listings in surprise. Again, only 424 hitting the market. So not a lot left over there after what sold. But again, that's kind of, that's what we're seeing. And the most sold listings, are new listings that hit the market, I should say, were in the 400 to 499 price point. We had quite a few in 300 to 399. And a big chunk in 500 to 549 and 550 to 749. So that is kind of showing you where the prices are. Again, anything under 200 or even 250, very, very, very limited. Not much at all. And if, any new listings, there was nothing under the 120 mark. So that just goes to show you, we have a lot of people that are looking to move here, that are wanting single family homes for $250,000. And just, I don't know if we're ever going to get back to that price point, but you're certainly not going to find a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom for that price point nearly anywhere. I don't even think you can get that in Florence, but I would say that if you're looking for a condo, you might be able to find, a 1 to 2 bedroom. But it's going to be very, very difficult if your budget is anywhere under $300,000 to find really a single family at all. Okay, I'm going to do one more. I'm going to go into Anthem next. So, one thing that I had done a video, a couple, at the beginning of the year, I think the end of last year, with 2022 housing market predictions. I'm going to be really honest. All of the predictions that I thought, we were going to see some different things than what we're seeing. Interest rates are drastically different. They are much higher. We thought we weren't going to get to this high until, the beginning of, or the end of Q3, maybe the beginning of quarter 4. They're already much higher than that, right? And that is a really, really surprising thing. But we're fighting inflation because it is so bad right now, right? And so, again, I always say I am trying to learn and see what I'm experiencing as we go. And it is very difficult to try to predict anything. But I see the trends where they're going. And, we saw a slight dip and a slowdown in November and December, which I normally don't see. Um, Year to year, I don't necessarily see a slowdown in my personal clients and our book of business necessarily. But we came into the new year and things just really ramped up. Interest rates are much higher. Competition is maybe even more competitive than it was last year. And I think what we're seeing specifically right now is people trying to rush before interest rates get higher. And that's understandable. Now, I'd be interested to see if there's any play to creative financing, loan assumptions, seller financing soon if interest rates keep trending upwards, because I know people that have had their, as they're searching to find a property, have had their monthly payment for the same home price go up $300 to $500 because of these interest rates. So I'm very interested to see what happens, but I don't know for sure. Everything I'm hearing is that spring 2022 housing market is going to be the most competitive housing market we've seen in a long, long time. I didn't know we could get more competitive than 2021. And here we are, and we're just trying to navigate it with you, give you all the information and guide you. And we have been very successful with our clients this year, helping them get under contract, meet their goals, their real estate goals. But I do understand how difficult the market is, and there's things changing so quickly, which is why I'm trying to educate you and help you and bring you all the information that I have, my experience in the market day to day, showing houses, offering, negotiating on my listings, offering and negotiating with the buyers, and managing that, and agent to agent relationships, and all of the things that come with being a buyer or a seller in the 2022 Phoenix housing market. So let's go into, we're in Anthem now. So 49 new listings. Now, Anthem is a smaller community. That doesn't surprise me one bit that there was not very much, just because Anthem is smaller, tighter knit. They have more of a community, and it's like a small city north of Phoenix, right? But we do talk about Anthem a bit and have clients that search and purchase up there. So wanted to bring this to the video as well. Okay, now Anthem, 103.2% sold to list ratio. So a little bit higher than those other cities. Now, Anthem does have some really nice amenities, a very sought after community. So that could be why. Now, the thing with Anthem is that a lot of those homes that are being sold haven't really been updated. They're not really current with, new design trends. A lot of them are, their finishes and design are 20 to 30 years old. So that does sometimes surprise me, because they're just not as updated in the properties, but the demand for the community is very strong. Okay. The average list price in March was $671,900, and the average sales price was $626,123. So I think that's going to be up again next month, I imagine. We have 0.41 for the absorption rate. So we actually went down 30% from what was available in March of 21, which is a little surprising. That's, it means, okay, less people listed their property, but that's okay. But year over year, right now, we're looking at a 6.12% increase in the absorption rate. So we'll have to see what happens with Anthem. Again, this could just be like an outlier month, less people wanting, listing their homes, or we'll see if April maybe brings some more inventory. We'll just have to see. So let's go into 44 sold listings. Okay, so not very many at all. because only 49 were listed, 44 sold. So not big numbers that we're looking at here, but again, smaller community. Now, here's where you can see the range of properties. And this is very interesting because you don't have very many listings in Anthem, right? And that's been the case for a while. I was working with some buyers for a very long period of time last year in Anthem, and it was very, very limited what I had to show them and what I was able to give them access to, because there weren't a lot of people selling last year either. So a couple in the 300 to 399. I think those were the townhomes over there off of Gavilion Peak Parkway. 400 to 499, 11 homes in that price point. That's probably Parkside, maybe a couple of the smaller homes in Gateside. 10 and 500 to 549, 17 and 550 to 749, and then 5 in the 750 to just under 1 million, and only 3 above from 1 million to 1.249. So if you're looking in the luxury price point in Anthem, you're going to be limited. There's not going to be a lot for you to choose from, which is what I was dealing with last year as well. Not much turnover there in some of those models and those bigger homes on the golf course. So just a consideration there when you're looking at all of this. But we're looking at, we're pretty much looking at this being a really competitive market. And I don't say that to discourage you. I just want you to be aware. There's a couple of things that you can do to be really competitive when you're searching, and that is to be flexible with your closing dates, your time frames. Be willing to really give a lot when you're going to buy. If you really, really want to buy in today's housing market, you have to be willing to compete. If you're not willing to compete, you're probably just wasting your own time, really, because it is a tiring and high time commitment process right now, with having to look at properties, offer on the weekend, wait to see if they respond. Okay, you're probably not going to get your first couple of offers accepted unless you really just have so much cash and you can just come in stronger than everybody else. Having extra cash for appraisal gaps, extra down payment, things like that is going to really help you in today's housing market. And being willing to be flexible with terms for dates, closing dates, giving the seller, if they're living in there, time to move out and find a replacement property, being willing to be flexible with title company, or having a shorter inspection period. I would never tell you to waive your inspection, but I do say that you're going to have to come in really, really strong if you want to win in this market, especially if you're looking at a house that is really updated or is priced really right. I mean, I showed a house a couple of weeks ago that the price was probably accurate. It was in very bad shape, but the price for the shape that it was in was really good. And somebody could come in there, probably put in 75 to 100,000 and then have an additional 100,000 in equity after the remodel was done of the property. But that property went 60,000 over asking, which at the price point, and the condition of it, because it was really bad. I needed to take a shower after I went and saw that property. It was a little bit surprising to me. And so I think that you just have to really be aware of the market that you're in, and also be willing to accept, if this is not the right time for you. It's not the right market for everybody. This is not a market that everybody really has the stomach to handle. And if that's the case, if you're not ready and you don't have to move, you don't have to buy, maybe you don't buy. If it doesn't make sense for you financially, the numbers don't make sense, that's okay too. So I would just like to say that, because I don't want anybody to feel like they are being forced to purchase, being forced to do something. But I want to bring you the facts of what we're seeing in the market. And we're seeing a very, very competitive and strong seller's market, and strong competition and high demand in the Phoenix, Arizona area. So that is what we're looking at in 2022. Now, if you want to go see that predictions video, go check it out. I will link it here at the end of the video. And if you have questions about the real estate market, specifically if you are a home seller and you're like, this actually would be a really, really good time for me to sell. This is an amazing market. Maybe you have a vacant property or a rental property. Give us a call, reach out to us. We are here for you. You can email or text us as well, but we love helping people relocate into the Phoenix market. We love helping buyers, but we also really need to bring more inventory to the market. And I cannot stress that this is such an amazing time to sell where you're going to get the best prices and terms. And I don't know how long that can go on for, especially with rising interest rates and how high they're going, before you maybe start to lose some of those advantages that you are getting right now when listing your home. So give us a call, reach out to us. We're here for you. Go check out these other videos about the Phoenix housing market, and I will see you on the next video.